Comes sprinting out. He goes, "Oi, what the hell's going on here?" I went, "I've got to get out. He goes, "I understand you've got to get out, but that's no door. That's my daughter." Absolutely ridiculous.
You can't trust people nowadays.
No, apparently not. And I only found that out to my disadvantage recently. Hi everyone. Sorry for the long delay. We're back with a bang, back with a vengeance.
Welcome
for the 2D Voices podcast. We've had some technical issues that have precluded us from continuing our illustrious broadcasting careers.
It's good to be back.
It is good to be back. We've overcome them, and I think probably come back stronger. Do I speak for the two of us there, Carl?
Oh yeah, I'd agree with that.
Fantastic. So there's only one place to start as far as English football is concerned, and it's the Premier League Team of the Year. Mm-hmm. Initial reaction, Carl, to the Team of the Year. Any contentious areas for you?
No, I thought the team picked itself, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was quite happy with it. De Gea, best keeper in the league for, what?
Ever?
4 seasons?
Yeah, I'd say he's the best keeper I've ever seen.
Yeah. What did you make of Martin Keown's comments saying that he thought Ederson deserved to be in?
Do you know what? Craig Bellamy said the same thing.
Did he?
And I think it's just, when you're a pundit, maybe this shouldn't apply to Craig Bellamy, because I get the impression that he wants to be a manager pretty soon. In fact, God, which job did he get? Applied for a job, didn't he? Like Bristol Rovers or someone. Or Brentford or someone like that. It wasn't Brentford, they're a championship club. But I get the impression that he wants to be a proper coach fully. But Martin Keown, to me, that's just getting your name out. It's like Paul Merson doing ridiculous predictions. Nobody thinks sincerely that Ederson was the best keeper in the league. He was the keeper in the best team in the league. But there's a huge difference between those two things. I don't think there's any contest.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot made about Ederson's passing ability. But I think at the end of the day, they've been helped massively by the midfield and the attacking players at Man City you've got. I don't think you can say that Ederson's been instrumental in that. I mean, he has been good. I think he has been the second best keeper. But De Gea is averaging 2 amazing saves a game, it seems, every time he watches United.
Let's talk about, if you think of defining moments, because the point that Craig Bellamy made was the influence that Ederson has had on City over the course of the season.
Yeah.
But I would say I can name a few pivotal David De Gea influential games that he's had, where you go, right, the Arsenal game obviously stands out.
Yeah.
I remember having some storming saves against Swansea recently. I can't name anything like that for Ederson. What I remember Ederson from, the most memorable moment of his this season, was the Mane incident. Was Ederson getting studs imprinted on his face by Mane. I can't remember a moment where I've gone, Ederson really is all that.
No, in terms of like his actual shot stopping ability, definitely.
Yeah, I can't. I think I've seen him. He's hit a few amazing passes.
I can remember Courtois making more memorable saves.
Yeah,
than Ederson.
Yeah.
Courtois made an amazing one against Arsenal, where he, I think it was from Ramsey's shot. He flicked it onto the post, it rolled across and hit the other post.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. But I don't know, I can't think of one like huge, massive Ederson save.
I just don't. I think he's been influential if you talk about like the philosophy and all these unquantifiable things. But David De Gea has had a much bigger impact on in terms of points won, and that's what this always comes down to. You notice that in the Team of the Year this season, the lowest ranked players are Eriksen, Vertonghen, and Harry Kane.
But even just massive moments, man, like De Gea at Anfield, the 0-0.
Yeah.
When he makes that amazing save.
Yeah, Chan won it.
Yeah. Like, just big moments, like where maybe he's not doing anything and then all of a sudden he makes an absolutely world-class save. You know?
Yeah, on numerous occasions.
I don't watch the Bundesliga enough, so I can't really comment on what Neuer's doing at the minute, but he's definitely the best keeper I've seen around.
Yeah, he was United's Player of the Year 2 seasons running.
Yeah.
I was a bit surprised that Ander Herrera won it last season. To me, he should have won it 3 seasons on a bounce.
Yeah.
And I think he's probably pretty much a shoo-in for it this season too. It's very rare that you get in Team of the Year, that you're your only side's representative in the Team of the Year. Sorry, you're your side's only representative, and you don't get Player of the Season. So, like... but actually saying that, Marcus Alonso probably won't get Chelsea's Player of the Season, will he? No,
probably not. What do you make of the defence?
I'm The defence is always really tough because you can always make a case, unless it's like when Leicester won the league and you've won with a load of 1-0 shutouts, or when Chelsea won the league a few seasons back. It's hard to make a case in recent years for the team of the year defence being only comprised of the title-winning side, because you think of a side winning the title because they've attacked really well and they've won games and dominated games. So I always find it hard. It's very rare that you'll see both centre-backs rather, in the team of the season being from the title-winning side. So Otamendi, reminds me of Ramos, the way that he plays. In that if he has a dreadful game or he has a fantastic game, he always seems to be noticeable in the game. So he's running around, charging out of defence with his gloves on, hacking into people, scoring headers. Scored against United twice this season. He got man of the match, if memory serves, in the game at Old Trafford that City won 2-1.
Yeah, that does sound right. Yeah, he seems to have developed as well. He's a much better player this season than what he was last, which seems to be a standout feature of Man City's team, doesn't it?
Yeah, every single player
seems to have improved. But Man City's defence has been much more assured. I think they've had centre-backs like Mangala in the past where it's ended up a bit comical at times.
Yeah.
Otamendi, I'd agree with the Ramos comment. I think that's pretty on point.
It is, isn't it?
He's super aggressive. But he's also decent on the ball as well, as every City player seems to be.
Yeah, he is, man. He's. I think it's hard to argue against him being in the team. Vertonghen is a bit of an odd one. Vertonghen, to me, I've never thought Jan Vertonghen's a bad footballer or a bad centre back, but he's never really been. I've never really thought of him as, wow, Jan Vertonghen. He's absolutely outstanding. I've never gone, I really want United to sign Jan Vertonghen.
Yeah, it's weird, with him, because I always picture Alderweireld being like his bigger brother.
Yeah, I always thought he's the better one.
Like, Vertonghen and Alderweireld go together, but Alderweireld's the better one.
Yeah, it's really odd. I just find it really difficult to make a case for him, and I don't want to sound like I'm being ignorant or silly, but I just can't quite. I don't think he's been outstanding for Spurs this season.
Yeah, but then I also look around and I go, who else would you put over him?
Yeah, so Craig Bellamy on the debate on Sky had said that he would go for James Tarkowski, and I figure he's had a great season, and Burnley have had a phenomenal season, but I suppose it comes down to whether you put Burnley's defensive work down to Sean Dyche, or it's the similar way that United, so you don't see any United defenders either in the team of the year or even in the conversation for it. So Chris Smalling, Phil Jones, Eric Bailly, Victor Lindelof, nobody's talking about them.
No.
And that's because we go, United are a great defensive side because of Mourinho. So I wonder if we do the same thing where you go, Burnley have been fantastic. Yeah, 1-0 Burnley and all that. And it's because of Sean Dyche rather than because of Tarkowski and Ben Mee. I figure it's the same thing. But when you do that, it feels like Jan Vertonghen gets in by default.
I think you also really struggle to get any player in the team of the year who is outside of like the top four.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got Alonso there from Chelsea, but other than that, that's the only one, isn't it, outside of the top four?
Yeah.
I think it's quite hard, isn't it? You're going for the team of the year, you look at the best teams, and then you make an amalgamation from those teams, don't you?
Yeah.
As brilliant as Burnley have been, they're not quite Tottenham, are they?
No, I don't know who I'd go for. To me, putting Vertonghen in there is not that much weirder than putting Azpilicueta in there, because I know Azpilicueta is brilliant, but this season he hasn't been as good as Otamendi, for example. So I couldn't justify putting Azpilicueta in there.
Yeah.
And in the same vein, I just don't think Spurs have been brilliant, but Harry Kane has been Spurs this season, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And Son, to be fair, I think Son, after the season he's had, he can probably feel a bit gutted that there's been as many wide forwards who've been as good as him, or have been as good or better.
That's just unfortunate.
Yeah. If it weren't for Leroy Sané, you'd say Son is easily the best left midfielder in the league this season.
Yeah.
Like, he's been better than Eden Hazard this season, comfortably.
Well, I think Sané is unfortunate not to get in the team.
Yeah, he is really, isn't he?
Because he's insane this season.
I can't see him having a better season than that.
No.
He's been absolute, because I don't know. I think it's always hard for wide players to have phenomenal seasons like year after year and not get put against some, the equivalent of Kyle Walker at right back.
Yeah.
So it is gutting. I don't know. If I have to, because I've made a point of saying that I wouldn't put Vertonghen in there.
Yeah.
If I had to put someone else in there, I probably would go. I don't think I can do Chris Smalling. I can't quite bring myself to do Chris Smalling. Let me do John Stones for the first half of the season. He's not been playing in the second half of the season, but to be honest with you, there are players in this team that I don't really feel have done the work across the whole season. Alonso being a great example of it.
Yeah, Alonso has dropped off, hasn't he? Well, the whole Chelsea team have dropped off. That's why they find themselves outside the top 4.
It's really weird to see Marcus Alonso there, you know. I can't believe he actually got it. He's scored a lot of goals this season.
Yeah.
But flipping it.
I don't know. I guess like up towards, what was it, March, when Chelsea were playing United at Old Trafford and they were battling for like the top 2?
Yeah.
You would say up to that point he had a fantastic season. I remember watching Chelsea every week thinking this guy's absolutely brilliant.
He had a good season up until March, defo. He was definitely in the running until March. But I'm trying to think who it was now. McMahon had made a point on the fact that the last few months of the season are the most important. So they were talking about Virgil van Dijk being in Team of the Year.
Okay.
And like laughing at it. Well, Craig Bellamy was laughing at his point, saying, how can you possibly put a guy who was dropped from his side because he wasn't focusing on training? How can you put him in just based on the last few months of the year? But he said, Steve McMahon, those are the most important months of the year. So if you only perform in the last few months, I put a lot more weight in than if you have only performed in like the first 6, just because that's when it's crunch time. That's when the fixtures all pile up, and that's when you're in the advanced stages of competitions.
Yeah, Mr. Ronaldo.
Yeah, but I don't know. We mentioned this on the last broadcast, but I can't believe Ashley Young hasn't got best left back in the league. As soon as Delph fell off, as soon as Delph he got sent off against Wigan and then didn't get in the team after that really on a consistent basis, I thought brilliant. It was only between Delph and Ashley Young, and I'm so happy for Ashley Young that he's come out from being a third choice left winger and gone, oh okay. So we're signing all these left wingers out. Okay, I'll play at left back then, and absolutely crush it. Like I remember the game he had against Watford.
Yeah.
The game he had against Spurs at Old Trafford. The guy was absolutely phenomenal. He got man of the match against Watford. He's Ashley Young, man. He's broken back into the England squad, which is very telling. When you've got Danny Rose and the apparently unbeatable Ryan Bertrand playing for England too. Ashley Young's broken in and gone, yeah, I'll be the left back for England then.
I don't think all the players get the same respect though when it comes to these awards.
Definitely not. I mean, yeah, crikey, who's the oldest player in here?
Do you know what I mean? It's probably David Silva, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's defo.
Yeah, I don't think they do. Particularly ones who have to rebuild themselves. Do you know what I mean? It's like you would never see James Milner in a PFA Team of the Year.
No, definitely. Even if Liverpool win the Champions League, in the Champions League Team of the Year, you won't see James.
No one will mention James Milner.
No, definitely not.
But yeah, I think it is a shame because obviously Ashley Young has an amazing season. I think if Chelsea hadn't dropped off as much, then you would say fair enough. But yeah, I do think that's a contentious position, isn't it?
Defo.
What about the other side, Mr. Walker?
Very hard to argue against Kyle Walker.
He's strong, isn't he?
I think Valencia's been amazing this season, but if you imagine, I would say the difference between all the other right backs and then Valencia and then Kyle Walker is exactly like the Premier League itself. It's the perfect microcosm where I would go, everyone else has been nowhere near as good as Valencia.
Yeah.
But Valencia has been nowhere near as good as Kyle Walker. I'd say that's the gulf.
Yeah.
It's really hard to compare. Kyle Walker. I think Kyle Walker and David De Gea and Kevin De Bruyne are the 3 absolutely indisputable. In every single Team of the Year, those 3 should be in there.
Yeah.
There should be no Ederson. There should be no Valencia. There should be no. I don't even know who you would put in ahead of Kevin De Bruyne. I honestly don't know. Well, I guess we'll come to it, but it's going to be pretty unanimous in it. What about you? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, it's interesting with Kyle Walker because I remember, like, in the summer when he left Tottenham, there was a lot of there was a lot of I don't know, like almost like laughing towards him. It was like, oh yeah, he's been kicked out of Tottenham, but he was going to Manchester City,
and for the money as well. Everyone was when you go for that much money, like when Raheem Sterling went for that much money, everyone goes, oh, go on then, let's see what you're made of. Young lad.
He's been astonishing this season.
He's been amazing.
And he's like the first name in the England World Cup squad along with Kane.
In any position too, where you go, we'll play, our centre-backs are going to be, and you go, why are you naming the centre-backs first? Are you going to do Kyle Walker first? And Gareth Southgate goes, yeah, I am doing Kyle Walker first, he's playing at centre-back.
He's playing in the back three.
But with who? I don't know, Maguire and Smalling, doesn't really matter because it's Walker.
But he's a really impressive player, I think, Kyle Walker.
Fantastic. I would say he's been probably in the top 5 players this season. If you had a 5-a-side PFA Team of the Year, I think Walker, if you could pick one defender, it would be Walker this season.
I think he's been best defender of the season.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Midfield.
Midfield's a hard one, right? Because they made this point on the debate, and I always find this a bit of an odd issue when you're picking Team of the Year. Do you go for a team that would play as an 11, or are you just going for the 11 best players? So are you just going for the 4 best defenders, the 3 best midfielders, the 3 best attackers? Because if not, I get that it looks cool if you go, we have to pick the best left back and the best right back. That makes sense. But when you do midfielders, these 3 are all attacking midfielders that have won it. So do you have to pick a defensive midfielder? Because Craig Bellamy was like, he goes, no, I'd pick Fernandinho for me because you have to have a bit of balance. And I was listening to it thinking, do you though? Because these guys don't have to actually play a football match together. We're just talking about who was best.
Yeah, they've just been incredible.
Yeah, so...
I don't know, it's interesting. Even with the formation, 10 years ago, would the formation have just been a 4-4-2?
Yeah, it was. It was,
wasn't it?
Definitely, it was, because Beckham and Giggs would get in it.
Yeah.
But they weren't central midfielders. You'd go Beckham, Giggs, Keane, Vieira, for example.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just the way it is, isn't it?
It is weird.
I think attacking and creative midfielders just stand out more. There's nothing against Fernandinho. He's had a brilliant season.
Yeah.
But I mean, can you really argue with those 3 players there? De Bruyne, Eriksen, David Silva?
Not at all. For a period, it looked as though Dembele was going to be in for it.
Yeah.
And for a period before that, it looked like Paul Pogba was going to be in for it. But, I mean, Pogba got injured and then fell off, and then got fit and then fell off, and then it's been bizarre. It's been a weird little soap opera for the rest of the season. I'm not sure what with Dembele. I don't know if I suppose the whole point when Dembele was getting all this press was, hey, it's Dembele, he's the unsung hero. And then we've all gone back and gone, Dembele, the unsung hero, and then said nothing about Dembele for the rest of the season. No one's been checking up on it. We've just forgotten about the guy, and that's due in part to the fact that Christian Eriksen's been as good as he has.
Yeah. How old is Dembele now? Is he like 30?
Yeah, I'd say 29 or 30.
Yeah. Like getting past his prime, right?
Yeah.
But Kevin De Bruyne, I think, probably the most consistent performer of the season.
Yeah, too easy. So if you go Walker's the best defender, De Bruyne's the best midfielder, far and away.
I don't know, it was scary what he was doing up to Christmas. In the first 3-4 months of the season.
Yeah, it was scary. I was trying to ignore that,
He was carving people. He was just carving people.
It was a bit much.
Getting goals like the one against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. He was just doing everything.
It was everything, wasn't it? And I remember the one he scored against Arsenal. That to me was the absolute peak of De Bruyne being ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because everyone had been going on about it for so long. Oh yeah, De Bruyne, what's he going to do against Arsenal? And then he came in. I can't remember what score that finished. Did he do him 5-2 or something?
The Arsenal game at City?
Yeah. Did Sané score against Arsenal? No, I'm picturing the one against Liverpool. One from the edge of the area where he crashed in the top corner.
De Bruyne scored with his left foot against
Arsenal. Scored with his left peg against Arsenal because I remember him taking it onto his left foot and then going, there's no point shooting.
Yeah.
Because all your momentum's going away from goal and it's your weaker foot. And he went, no, because... Yeah. I'm not going to go for power. I'm going to put it in the bottom right-hand corner.
His 2 ridiculous assists against Stoke early in the season.
Yeah. The cross, the 50-yard cross.
Some of the best passing I've seen.
Freak.
Yeah, just too good. Eriksen, I think we spoke about him a couple of weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah, he's really kicked it, I think, since probably maybe Feb. Since the Champions League games with Juve, definitely. He was really influential. In fact, you know what? He was good against Madrid, Eriksen. Scored against Madrid.
At Wembley?
Yeah. Scored against Juve. No, assist against Juve.
He scored against Juve as well.
Did he? Oh, yeah, he did.
He scored in Italy, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He scored at the... I think it's just called the Juventus Stadium. But yeah, he did. Yeah.
Um,
That's right, yeah. So yeah, I think the business end of the season, he's really come into it. Christian Eriksen and David Silva. He was quiet, for the first half of the season. He didn't really come in. When he scored, who did he score against now? Not against United. He scored against United, but he scored. Do you remember he scored a late winner? Was it against Newcastle? I think it was against Newcastle at St James's Park. Was it St James? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he scored against Newcastle.
We can look.
But whenever that was the turning point for David Silva being super influential.
I remember him chipping away with assists because I guess City were scoring that many goals that like they were beating people like 4-0 every week.
Yeah.
And I remember he was keeping up with his assists because there was a time where I think it was De Bruyne, Sané, and David Silva had like the same assists.
Yeah, were they all on 10 for a while?
It was like, it was either double figures or like 9 apiece.
Yeah.
But yeah.
West Ham it was. West Ham late winner. That's the one, the little kung fu cross.
Yeah.
But that was the turning point. So that was in January for when Silva started being super influential, and then that's when he started getting loads of press.
Yeah.
And I think he had a thing with his son was born prematurely.
Yes, and he had to have a couple of weeks off.
Yeah, and then he just came back and strolled straight back into it. You guys have been keeping it warm for me, haven't you?
And David Silva's an insane player.
He is a really bizarre player.
He's been incredible for years.
Do you know what, though? If this season went on for another 6 months, I think Gundogan would get in that team.
Yeah, he's really kicked on, hasn't
he? He's been so impressive. He's been so impressive. He's for the injuries that he's had too, and the lack of chances to be consistent, he's been phenomenal. He reminds me a bit in that he doesn't really get a lot of press, but he's always chipping in.
Yeah.
Of Emre Can. Not the way that he plays, but the fact that he's just this kind of...
But he scores more than Can.
He scores and assists more than Can. He's a much more attacking player than Can. But just the way that when you were going through the starting 11 for City, or you were going through City's best players, you wouldn't think of saying, "Oh yeah, okay, Gundogan probably." And the same for Liverpool and Can. But Gundogan's been fantastic. That goal he scored against United at the Etihad was absolutely. I'm so glad that came for nothing, because when I was watching that, right, it was such a great finish. I just remember sinking. My whole body just sunk because I went 2-0 already. City look incredible, and there's nothing you can do about that goal because it's just this sweeping move, swishing your whole body around, swiveling, and just chopping across it and putting it into the corner. Absolutely amazing. So I'd be interested to see how he does next season.
Well, it shows how good David Silva has been. I guess since the turn of the year.
Yeah, to be keeping him out.
A bit like his old friend up front, Aguero.
Yeah. First time he's ever got in the team of the year.
That's an insane stat, isn't it?
First one. Ludicrous, that is. Ludicrous.
It's a bit unfair, that, isn't it? I mean, we've been watching this guy in the Premier League since, 2011?
Yeah, 2011.
Yeah. This is one of the best strikers we've ever seen.
Ever. Just who's ever played, man. Who's ever played in this era. Absolutely far and away. You watch him from any time. You watch him from when he was at flipping Independiente. You watch him from when he was at flaming Atletico Madrid, and then when he came to City. He's absolutely ridiculous.
And the two players he's got next to him, Kane and Salah, them two speak for themselves. But Aguero, again, he got to this point where he was kicking it that much that it looked like he was going to catch them two up for the golden boot. And it's such a shame that he got crocked when he did. Right after he scored 4 goals in a game.
Yeah, who was that? Newcastle?
Yeah, I think it might have been Newcastle.
That was too much. It's an absolute joke, really. He's one of the unlucky. I said this to you recently. That I think Aguero is the best ever injury-prone player.
Yeah, he's just bounced back.
That I've seen ever. The number of injuries he's had, and we still go. If you go now, who are the best ever Premier League strikers? You go definitely Henry, definitely Shearer. And then people go, should I say Van Nistelrooy or Fowler or Owen? And then you go, excuse me, say Aguero. And they go, oh yeah, Aguero. But that guy's been injured so many, Alan Shearer and Thierry Henry, the indisputable top two, have never had the injuries that Aguero's had on the consistent basis that he's had them. And he's still easily like easily top 5 Premier League strikers ever. He should be easily top 3.
Yeah, because I remember when he got to 100 Premier League goals, it was like showing his ratio, and it was like superior to that of Henry's. And
definitely. Did he get 100 in about 140 games or something?
Yeah, I think it was even better. I think it was like 100, 120.
Idiot.
Like he was just far too good, far too quick. But yeah, I don't know. I just hope. I guess it's similar to like when you watch Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. You don't want him to kind of get to this stage where he just like dwindles away. You're so used to seeing a player like him be insane for, like pretty much going on a decade now.
Mental.
You just don't want him to just go on too long, but you don't see him slowing down anytime soon, do you?
What do you reckon when Aguero retires? What do you think you'll think of as the defining as the that's Aguero. That's typical Aguero. So like when you think of if I think of Thierry Henry, the goal that defines Thierry Henry, there's two. There's the one against United, the spinning volley against Barthez, and then this is one he scores against Cudicini at Chelsea, where I think it's about 20 seconds into the game. Ball comes to him in the air, and he brings it down with his right foot. In the same way that Gundogan did this swivel, like shot while he was swiveling, uses all the momentum, and it's like Henry goes, may as well have a little swing at this then. So he brings it down with his right foot, and then it bounces up, and as he's turning to face the ball, he just flaps his left foot, and it's like he's hardly even hit the ball. It's like he's pushed it on the volley, just pushes it on the half volley, boink, and it goes past Cudicini, and he goes, bloody hell, that's gone in the top right, top left hand corner. That.
Yeah.
So what would you say is that one for Aguero? What would you say is the defining Aguero performance or?
I don't know. The thing is with Aguero, I guess it's similar to Henry as well. It's just how ruthless he is with his chances.
It's not fair, really.
He gets a chance and it's a goal, man. And he goes either way as well. So he'll go right side or left side. I think probably it's like close control, shifted it onto his right and then just crack bottom corner. It's just I don't know how do you describe it? Just ruthless attacking, really.
Yeah, it is really, isn't it? It's just business-like.
There's no fancy flicks or anything like that. Final third, it's like I'll get that ball and I'll put it in the bottom corner.
Yeah, all the time.
It's incredible.
Do you remember the hat-trick he scored against Chelsea? It would have been 2015 or no 16. I think it would have been early 2016. He scored a hat-trick against Chelsea.
One from an acute angle.
Oh, yeah. And then two from outside the area.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll always remember, that hat-trick against Chelsea. I think they 3-0'd them. I think they 3-0'd Chelsea. And this was the season that Leicester won the league. 15-16.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The one from the acute angle is that the keeper comes out and he drags it to the right side and he somehow finds it back to the net.
Is it the left-footed one?
I can't remember if it's left or right foot. Let's look for it.
Let's get it on the screen right now. Sorry to our listeners, you can do this yourselves. Obviously, you won't be
Google it.
Not gonna be allowed to show that one on here. But that to me is what I'll always remember with Aguero.
Yeah. I don't know how people see this guy. I don't know whether they do see him up there with Henry.
They definitely should do.
But yeah, they should do, definitely. Just checking out the old video.
But yeah, that's the one to me. That's the one. Because it was just, I don't know. It's just the word ruthless is exactly the way to sum it up. It was just a ruthless game, ruthless performance.
Kevin De Bruyne looks like such a child.
But
oh yeah, I remember this game. Yeah.
There's no argument about Salah, is there?
No.
I guess I don't. Would even a United and Everton fans say that Salah isn't getting this? I mean, Salah's player of the season.
Yeah, he's player of the season and he's going to get Golden Boot. Sorry, Kane. But he will.
But imagine if he didn't.
It would be incredible.
Kane,
I just don't see it. He's going to play all the Premier League games.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's no way Klopp will rest him.
No, I think it's a bit of a risk to rest the player who's that important to your team.
Yeah.
For 2 or 3 games at the business end of the season, because can you afford for him to be losing momentum when he's been playing as well as he has?
Nah.
Liverpool, the top 4's more or less sewn up. Chelsea have all given up on top 4, so they don't have to worry about not qualifying for the Champions League. But I just think, for the sake of momentum, I can't imagine that Klopp would go, oh, yeah, we'll just rest Mohamed for a bit, and then he'll just jump straight back into it against Roma in the Champions League. You don't want to risk that, do you?
No, definitely not. I mean, he hasn't really even got injured this season, has he?
No, he hasn't.
It doesn't seem like he's injury prone.
No.
So why would you change anything? Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Kane, again, is a guy who puts himself in the team, isn't he? Yeah. It's really unfortunate, speaking of injuries, that Kane got injured too, because his strike rate is still absolutely absurd, and he would have definitely kept stride with Salah if he hadn't missed. What did he miss? 3 games?
Yeah, I think he would have got a golden boot in that. Because even when he's come back in these last 2 games, he doesn't quite look the same. I think he's really rushed back.
Yeah, definitely. He rushed back massively. They were talking about him missing the World Cup.
Yeah. Oh, man. Sorry, we're just watching the video of Aguero.
That's
insane player.
So that's it. I don't think. Is there anyone that you would give an honourable mention to that didn't get in the team of the season? Not necessarily that you think they should replace Harry Kane, for example, but anyone that you think is just on the edge of team of the season, that you go, if the season went on a bit longer, I could see this guy getting in.
I think Sané is a big one.
Definitely. Sterling.
Sterling, another one.
Oh, well, Sterling's a tough one. I think Sterling and Sané not getting in is the toss of a coin. I think if you did the exact same votes again this week, for example, I think it would be completely different.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's difficult. I don't know whether, when it comes into their mind, whether they think, we can't just put every Man City player in. Like, we've got to like spread it out a little bit.
I guess so. Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that. Like, if Man City have been that superior, which they have been, then I just think you've got to put their players in. Because I think the gap has been big, hasn't it, this season?
Massive, particularly attacking. But you have to have Kane and Salah in there, because they've not only just put numbers up and recorded goals, but they've been mega influential as well. Kane has been the reason that Spurs have scored so many goals.
Yeah.
Salah's been the reason that Liverpool have got to the Champions League semi-finals and are going to comfortably finish in the top 4.
Do you think United have been comfortably second best?
I don't know about that. It looks, if you look at the league table, it looks like they've been, so if they win the game in hand that they've got over Liverpool, then you'd say, United are probably easily the second best side. But I don't know, because if Liverpool, let's say Liverpool beat Roma over 2 legs, which most people expect them to do, they'll, even though they'll finish behind United in the league, probably, to get to the Champions League final
and be the top goal scorers in the Champions League.
Yeah, and blow everyone away.
Like,
as much as they have.
They've not just got there, like they've well deserved it. Like they battered City over 2 legs, really. I know there were some contentious decisions, but they were well deserved winners.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I think if Liverpool get to the final, they would have a legit claim for being the second best team in England.
Yeah.
But in the league, United have been the second best side, because obviously there is no controversy in your league position. You don't accidentally finish second. You all play the same teams the same number of times.
Yeah.
But I just think over the course of the entire season, if you're talking about best in the country, United and Liverpool they'll definitely be equal if Liverpool gets to the final. Definitely, particularly given how United played against Sevilla. That's minus 10 points, and Liverpool getting to the final is plus 10 points, no doubt.
Second place is a weird one, isn't it? Because if you finish second and the champions are 10 points or more clear than you,
Christ, yeah, it's going to be 16.
And you don't do anything else in any other competition, second place really counts for absolutely nada, doesn't it?
Yeah. If you don't win another trophy, you may as well finish. You may as well finish third, really, or fourth, because you've still qualified for the same stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really like seeing a team blow everyone away as much as what they have done. Like, it's been insane football to watch, but I was reading something today. There's a documentary coming out on the rivalry between United and Arsenal.
Oh yeah, I've seen this. I've seen something about Ferguson and Wenger on it.
Yeah, I think it's Channel 5 on Monday.
Check it out, guys.
Check it out.
No, don't bloody check it out. Listen to this podcast instead.
We should probably advertise it there.
Have a number up at the bottom.
But yeah, it's like over like the 10 years of like Ferguson and Wenger's years. But like that was an insane time for football, man. You just had like two powerhouses going at it. I know like United obviously got the better of that era, but there was still like, you know, like massive games every season, massive players in both teams, and you know there were competitions going to and from Manchester and Arsenal, and it was just, I don't know, you don't want to get to the stage where it's like Man City go ahead and like win the league for the next 4 or 5 years, really.
No, I don't think it can happen in England, that a team, because you know, even when United were really dominant, I think United only won the league 3 times in a row. I don't think they ever won 5 in a row. I know they never won 5. They may have won 4. I don't think they won 4. But I don't think City can win. With the amount of money that there is and how easy it is, the money is not it. The money is just the money until you realise that you can now sign all the best players. So United and Liverpool, depending on how they're doing in the Champions League, can now sign these amazing players. And within a couple of years, that'll tell. So I was looking at the top scorers from last season, right? And last season, the top 3 were Kane, Lukaku, Sanchez. And in the space of 12 months, Man United have signed 2 of the top 3 goal scorers last season. Yeah. And if United, as an example, as a second place side, start to see City going, okay, so City have won, let's say City win 2 leagues in a row in the style that they've won this one this season. I think then United will go, right, panic button. We're already spending a lot, but let's really spend. Let's buy Kylian Mbappe, right? Yeah. Let's give him 500 grand a week, and let's give whichever club he ends up being 290 million quid for him. Let's buy him. Let's buy Mbappe. Let's buy flipping Marco Verratti. Yeah. Let's buy Tony Kroos. Let's give these guys the money that only an English team could offer them, and we'll bring them in at all costs. And I think that'll be what the reaction will be if City, for example, start absolutely dominating the English league. I think there's too much at stake now, and there's too much money for teams to go, yeah, we can let City do that. We can let them win and win and win. You just go, right, we'll sign like one of the top 5 players in the world now.
The thing is, it's perfectly poised as well with Mourinho being at United, isn't it? You've got like the 2 best coaches there in the world, and Mourinho just must have so much leverage in that, just in those meetings. Definitely. You know, he must just be going, listen, right, you're not going to get anyone better than me at the club. So if you want me to compete with Guardiola and City, then you better start chucking me some money now.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing. There isn't anyone else left. Jurgen Klopp's got a job now.
No.
There's no one else that you're going to get in. What, you're going to sign it sounds like Thomas Tuchel's going to go to PSG.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Unai Emery's not in that much demand once he leaves. Carlo Ancelotti is the only big name, and I would absolutely be in favour of Ancelotti going to United, but that's not because I think Mourinho should leave. But if it did happen, I'd go definitely Ancelotti.
Yeah. I guess he's the biggest name out of the job at the minute, isn't it?
Far and away. Do people still say Laudrup's name? No disrespect. No disrespect to Michael Laudrup. Great player. Great man, great dog. But should he be working here?
I don't think so.
No. Not on the forklift.
No.
So
it's the biggest.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the way that it goes. I think we'll see how Liverpool go, and then we can talk about who's the second best in the country. But ultimately, it doesn't matter because City are the best in the country.
Yeah,
we're not going to end on that note because that would be a negative note to end on. Let's talk about a positive note, which is relegation from the Premier League. Kyle, who's definitely going down?
West Brom.
Correct.
Next,
Stoke.
Okay.
100%. Stoke have to, because, no disrespect again, to a guy who's been there and done it.
Yeah.
Paul Lambert. Paul, it's a big job, man. It's a big job. And listen, it's a hard job.
Yeah.
It's a really hard job. You know, you've no chance. You've no chance of keeping Stoke up at the stage of the season that it is. And I'll tell you what's happened to Saido Berahino?
Oh, he's done.
I feel so sorry for this guy, man.
He's done. I don't think he's coming back, is it?
What has happened to him, though? Is it physical?
No, I don't think he has been injured. I just don't think he's good enough.
But, like, is he out of shape? Is he not able to get in shape?
No. He came on the other week, didn't he? He came on as a sub in like the 80th minute.
Yeah, but man, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
But when you're relegation ridden and you're 19th, comfortably 19th, and you can't even like get this opportunity in a Stoke team with Paul Lambert wearing his all blue tracksuit and his Nike trainers, you know, you must think, God, what's happened to him?
It's horrible.
It's a shame.
It's absolutely horrible. Remember the season he had in hang about 13-14?
Yeah.
I remember, right? This is no lie. I was abroad for this, yeah? I was abroad for this season. I remember going on Twitter back in the day when I had Twitter, followed Saido Berahino because he was having that good a season, played at United and scored. They won 2-1. I don't know if he scored the winner. They won 2-1. He was playing for West Brom, and Amalfitano scored. He scored a chipped it over De Gea. 1-2-1. Great game for them. And I remember going on Twitter and going, oh my God. I was like 19 years old, right? I went, oh my God, I'm going to get a pair of signed boots off Saido Berahino. He does this competition on Twitter. He goes, I'm giving away my boots that I scored at Old Trafford in. I went, that'd be nice. Young player. So he goes, all you have to do is answer, what city was I born in? And he was so little known that he didn't have a Wikipedia account, right? Profile. So you couldn't just Google where was Berahino born.
Right.
But I'd read an article that he's from Burundi, right? So I went, okay, Saido Berahino was born in Burundi.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bit about this civil war in Burundi. So I went, okay, let's just Google the capital of Burundi, which I've completely forgotten the name of that. But it was the capital of Burundi, that was the answer.
Okay.
So I tweeted him, bam, capital of Burundi, whatever it was. And he goes, here you go, everyone. Here was the correct answer.
Yeah.
I was the first person to do it. And you can go back and check this tweet, yeah?
Did you get your boots?
Didn't get the boots. He gave them to some girl because he goes, thanks everyone. She goes, oh yeah, it was. Let me Google it because it's going to annoy me. This capital of bloody Burundi. I think it begins with a B as well. So there's not really any excuse not to get it.
But yeah.
Bujumbura, definitely that. Bujumbura. So I got that, yeah? I got that. Did a bit of research. She probably copied mine. Karen, or whatever she was called. She got the boots. So that was Berahino coming through.
And do you think that was his downfall?
I think he cursed himself.
Yeah.
I probably cursed him. Accidentally. And I've gone from strength to strength.
Jedi mind tricks.
You know, yeah, I'm now bloody running my own podcast. 10 subscribers. 9 subscribers if you exclude me. Don't bloody tell them. And Berahino's just struggling for goals. So Stoke defo.
And Stoke
go down.
The third one.
Southampton go down. I feel like I don't really want Palace to go down because I think it'd be amazing for Zaha to keep him up. And he wouldn't keep him up because Wilfred Zaha has had an eye-catching season, but his season hasn't actually been as phenomenal as everyone will have you believe.
I think it's just phenomenal in comparison to the players who are down there.
Definitely, yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it?
But like, who's the second best player at Palace? Milivojevic, because he scores free kicks and penalties.
Yeah, we're not still saying that Kabaiski, are we?
Nope. Not on this podcast, we're not. Right? Nothing against you, Johan. Thought he was a phenomenal player when he was at Newcastle. Absolutely eye-catching player. You know, is it enough to keep Palace up? We'll find out after the break. We're back after the break, ladies and gents. We've just been talking about Johan Cabaye, but we're not going to be anymore. We're going to be talking about Wilfred Zaha again. He's only scored 7 goals and 4 assists this season. But if he gets to the much exalted double figures for both, which is strikingly unlikely, you have to say.
With what?
I'll change my mind.
They've got 4 games left.
4 games left, yeah.
So
he gets 6 assists in 4 games, and then he gets a hat-trick on his last game. Keeps Palace up, and I go, I'm getting a Zaha shirt. And then I go, Jesus Christ, 65 quid for a Zaha shirt. I'll wait till next season, thank you.
I'll get the Ivory Coast.
Get the old one. Ivory Coast. That's true.
So,
Drogba.
But yeah, they've got 4 games left. Southampton and Swansea are in 17th.
I don't think Swansea will go down. I don't think Swansea. I think Swansea believe that they can win games much more than Southampton believe they can win games.
Carlos Calvert-Lewin has done an insane job there.
A ridiculous job.
Like,
He's
Swansea was
unlucky.
down.
If he joined earlier on in the season, I think he and Sean Dyche would be level for the second best manager in the season in the league this season.
That was incredible because they were all but down.
They were finished. It was like flipping Bob Bradley again, wasn't it? They were, in fact, who was their manager before? Who got sacked?
Clement.
Paul Clement. Oh yeah, Uncle Paul.
Yeah,
it was
He's
Uncle Paul.
Sislak, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a shame. The burglar.
It's a shame. He tried to get Sanchez to play the Munich way.
Oh.
He was phoning Ancelotti every night, but it didn't quite work.
How do we make him do stuff? No, I've put him in midfield, but he just passed the ball to an advertising hoarding. No disrespect. He won Best Young Player at the Euros in 2016.
And he still could be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, but I wonder if it's going to go the same way as Berahino. Because we've seen his skill, and to a degree we've seen his mental state when he went onto this massive stage and won the Euros. But, you know, can you bounce back from being demoralised in South Wales?
And he didn't even have, like, do you know, like, it's forgivable to, like, misplace a pass, but you would think you would see moments of, like, brilliance for someone who's that good.
Yeah, there's not been one, has there?
Nothing.
There's not been one. Every time you've heard his name, it's because he's been subbed after 25 minutes.
And yeah, it doesn't make you think, does it, whether he's done.
I really hope not, man. That guy was excited at the Euros.
He is still super young. He's super young. But,
you know, he's 20.
So's Raheem Sterling.
So's Dele Alli.
Yeah.
So's Marcus Rashford.
Don't think youth really counts or anything now, does it?
I don't think it can afford to.
You either crack on or you don't, I'm afraid.
Yeah, especially in the elite leagues.
Yeah.
They're not going to go, give me a bit of time. Like, this stuff about Rashford's really surprised me. But people talking about Rashford might not renew his... Rashford might look for pastures new. Yeah? Rashford, why would he, man?
Yeah.
He's a kid, he's a young guy, and he's playing loads of games for United.
Manchester United.
And he's on the bench a bit, but ask any of the best... Ask Lionel Messi how many games he was playing when he was 19.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Ask Ronaldo how many games he was playing when he was 19.
It's only because he's English.
Yeah,
It's just that classic media hype, man.
And there's the old Mourinho hates young players. He doesn't bring young players through. So everyone goes, ooh, is the best place for Rashford under Mourinho? Yeah. Played in more games than anyone else, Rashford, under Mourinho. So, don't know. Is it?
Who's the third team to go down?
Southampton.
Yeah.
Southampton, definitely. Because they've just not shown anything, man. What they have shown were the games against Arsenal and Chelsea, and they still lost both of them.
They lost both the games, yeah.
They showed up and went, come on, we're going to give them a right bloody nose, and still shipped 3 both times and lost, man.
I mean, they're 5 points behind Swansea, and there's 5 games left. So, I don't know. I don't see how they get out of that one, if I'm honest.
Nah, surely they don't. Huddersfield survive.
It's weak, yeah. Huddersfield do survive. What a fantastic performance that was for them.
Tom Ince, I'll tell you what, that's a big stepping up in it in the last minute.
Yeah, huge goal for them. Because they aren't getting another point in the season, you know.
I don't think they will.
They're not getting another point.
They've got the worst running, aren't they?
They're getting rattled for the next 4 games.
I wonder if he knew. I wonder if they are thinking that far ahead, the players, or if the manager goes. Because you know there's the whole... We take everything game by game. I wonder if the managers go, right, do not look at the fixture list. Tom, do not look at the fixture list. Get out there, get off the bench and go and bloody score us a goal. And he goes, yeah, I will do. But why were you saying not to look at the fixture list? He goes, there you go. That's who we've got to play. United, City and Chelsea, is it?
Possibly Arsenal as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Get out of there with 3 points, boys. You've done it. You've probably stayed up. Don't want to jinx it.
But yeah, I think 35 points is enough, isn't it? Which is weird, because it was always 40.
Yeah, everyone said it was 40 for ages, but I don't know if it was.
It probably never was 40.
I don't think it was 40. I think Paul Merson told everyone it was 40 and no one challenged him on it.
It was definitely 35 last season.
I remember looking at this. It's only been 40 a couple of times in recent history.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really speak for other than last season, but I remember last season it definitely wasn't. It was like 35 kept you up.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird, you know. We've got to this stage in the season, and usually in the last few games you have like stuff to play for. But I think it's pretty much all wraps up now.
Who do you think of the relegated teams? Let's assume Southampton, Stoke, and West Brom go down. Do you think there are any players who will be picked from those teams to stay in the Premier League? Do you think there'll be any, in the same way that you see?
Oh yeah, good question.
Let's say who's an example from last season? Who got picked up from a side that got relegated? I'm trying to think who got relegated last season. Then.
Oh, this is always hard, We do this every year.
Hull, Borough, Sunderland. Andy Robertson for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Got taken from Hull, who got comfortably relegated, and then has been phenomenal at Liverpool this season. Jordan Pickford from Sunderland.
Yeah.
Now he's getting in the England team. You can't knock it. I don't think he's England's best keeper, but you can't knock that. Who do you think this season will be, if there are any, players who will be picked, if you assume those three clubs go down?
I think someone will take Shakira.
Yeah, in England or from abroad?
Either a bottom half team in the Prem will have a take on him.
Do you think a newly promoted side will do it?
Yeah, I think so.
Would he? I hope Villa come up. I really hope Villa get promoted. I really, really do. I want Jack Grealish to play in the Premier League.
Or maybe Wolves. It's not too dissimilar, is it? Moving from Stoke to Wolverhampton. Pretty similar places.
Not too far. What is it, about 40 miles?
Yeah, it's not all that far.
50 miles.
Butland.
Butland probably will. Yeah, he's a big name keeper, isn't he?
I mean, he's again playing for England.
Big man, which no one shuts up about. Who did I hear talking about? That's why they start him for England, because he's bigger.
Oh my God.
Who was this? Was it Danny Mills? No disrespect. Maybe that could be our hashtag.
What, bigger?
No disrespect. Hashtag no disrespect. Look out for that one, listener.
I'll take them.
But I can't think of anyone else. Any Southampton players outfield? It's Tadic, Ryan Bertrand.
Yeah, Bertrand.
What happened to Nathan Redmond?
Oh no, he was impressive last season.
Yeah, he was good, man. He had some serious patches. Disappeared. Guess that's it, isn't it?
I think Shane Long's actually looking forward to playing Championship level football.
Yeah, getting back to it.
I think he knows he can't quite cut it at Premier League level.
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? It's a shame. It does seem that way.
Yeah, I don't know. 35 points.
So there's been once in the last 10 seasons that it's been 40 points to stay. So listen, kids, eat your greens, and if you ever hear a pundit say that you need 40 points to stay up in the Premier League, they are lying to you.
So
they're lying to you.
It's 35.
35, 30 bloody 6, 38, it's never 40. So if there's any teams out there that are listening to this in, 12 months' time, and they go, we really need to get to 40, relax. You can draw instead of winning, yeah? And Uncle Sam and Uncle Kyle told you that one for free.
Yeah, that's good knowledge.
Stats.
That's what we do. That's what we're here for.
Figures. Black and white. Ones and zeros.
The Matrix.
FA Cup this weekend. Who's progressing? Who's going to play in the final? And why?
Chelsea.
Chelsea in the final?
Who's better than Southampton?
Fact. Much better.
They shouldn't have gone 2-0 down, really.
No.
And they still won the game.
Yeah, but the league doesn't matter as much. When those boys get in Wembley.
Yeah. Hazard just wants another trophy, doesn't he? Look,
Yeah.
they can still win stuff, guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Chelsea one's simple. The other fixture is very exciting as far as the FA Cup goes.
It is. It's United's biggest game of the rest of the season. And Spurs.
Yeah.
Unless they get to the final, obviously.
It's good, though, because, I don't know, the FA Cup has lost a lot of glamour, I think, over the last few years.
The magic of the FA Cup, you always used to say.
Well, when Arsenal win it.
Romantic.
But, I don't know. I don't know how that one goes, if I'm honest.
I think Spurs will win.
Do you?
I think Spurs will win the FA Cup.
It's at Wembley, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've played there all season.
Spurs got the better of United at Wembley last time. Really got the better of them. United were insipid in that game. Do you remember? Eriksen scored early doors. Eriksen scored after about 90 seconds.
Oh, from the kickoff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Banged it up.
Yeah.
Header on. Ericsson left foot.
Yeah, I do remember.
I'm trying to think who scored the second.
I don't know. I can picture the Ericsson goal.
Finished 2-1. I think Rashford scored. Yeah, Rashford scored for United. I think he scored a header.
Was it Kane?
Was it Kane?
Because he hadn't scored against United before that, had
He scored last season.
he? Oh, did he?
Yeah, he scored in the last game at White Hart Lane. He scored and Wanyama scored. No,
Rooney.
Wanyama and Rooney.
Yeah.
Spurs won 2-1.
Because Rooney scored the last goal, was it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Wanyama header, Kane header, Rooney. Can't remember Rooney's goal.
As the commentators won't shut up about it.
Yes, Rooney. Rest in peace.
But yeah.
So yeah, I think Spurs will win, and I think Spurs will win the FA Cup. It's a bit unfair, isn't it, when you've been playing at Wembley all season?
It is a bit unjust, isn't it?
Yeah, let's play the FA Cup final at, I don't know, pick a name out of a hat, Old Trafford.
Well, nice.
For example, second most populous stadium in the country, so
Biased.
let's do it. Don't say the Millennium, because that's in Cardiff.
But,
So we're not.
in all honesty, you could go to a Midland ground. Midpoint for both teams.
Local lads done good,
Yeah, exactly.
giving away his allegiances.
Get him to Villa Park.
Christ. Villa Park, the whole end is in the sky. For many, not for him, because he's an Arsenal fan.
Let me
There you go.
watch it.
On the mic. Outed. So that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes to me.
I don't know. Yeah, I think when Tottenham get going, they're a pretty ruthless team, aren't they?
They're far too good. Ericsson and Kane. And Son.
At Wembley, yeah, I don't know. You can see Mourinho just setting up though, like maybe an extra time and penalties.
I really hope Jesse Lingard scores.
Loves the big occasion.
He does love the big occasion, man. He just loves this season.
Watch our piece on Lingard if you want.
Watch it, listen to it, share it,
Please.
replay it. But don't bootleg it.
No, be honest.
Don't bootleg it and add adverts to it.
No.
For one, you're not going to make any bloody money. Because no one's going to really listen to it. But if they do, I don't want to see that popping up.
No.
Definitely check it out. Check out the bit that we did about Ericsson, yeah? Because we were talking about Ericsson before he got in team of the season. Let's make that clear.
Yeah. And before his man of the match performance.
Against Chelsea.
Yep.
Full circle. Any closing comments, Kyle, before we leave our fan?
Keep watching football.
Yeah,
We'll
if
be
you
back
have
at the
time.
weekend.
Yeah, and sorry to, I'm sure our listener...